powering up. Some people are coming in here. Everybody, thanks for joining us. You can see our faces now.
Oh boy.
What happened?
Sorry, no, I know I accidentally accidentally turned on the YouTube and then the audio got really loud.
Double.
Yeah.
Cool. Looks like we're gonna Revs.
Ooh, I gotta get my brain in the right place.
And yeah, looks like everything's going. Brett Lewis. What's up, Brett Lewis? Yeah, looks like we got peeps in here. Looks like we're all good to go. Let me double check my audio here on the streams. Make sure I sound good, you know. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, yeah. Sounding good. I think we're ready to do a show, y'all. What do you think?
Cool. Let's do a show.
Let's start rolling our audio. And everybody let me know when you're recording your
Test. 1 2.
There we go. Everybody rolling?
Yes, I am rolling.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. We're going to do a sync clap, so it'll be 1 2 3 clap, all right? Here we go. 1 2 3. Perfecto.
Perfect.
Door B standing by. You might see him pop in the NFT segment. Just roll with it.
Okay, don't get scared.
Yeah, he's gonna come in and do a bit like he does, and I think we're good to go. So I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm rolling. We're on the internet. I think that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, some people are here apparently.
Hello. Rolling in.
All
right, let's do this. Here we go.
All right.
What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt, and joining us today is the mega super talented Jan Sladecko.
Hey guys.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, and concerns, queries, grievances, artist suggestions, show topic ideas. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, mograph.com. Send us your emails and let us know what you want to hear on the show. Do you want to hear something about a particular artist? Do you want to hear something technical? Do you want to hear something about render engines? Do you have a question? Would you like to suggest an artist? Would you like to ask a noob question? Would you like to ask a question that's super advanced and we probably can't answer, but we can help maybe find you somebody who could answer your question? Just email us info@mograph.com. and we will chat it up. This week, not a lot as far as what's going on with us, but we do have a couple things. I wanted to make sure that you mark your calendar or ding that bell, as they say on YouTube's, and set a reminder for Mark Fancher's Houdini special That's going to come up. I believe it's a week from this Thursday.
Cool.
I don't remember. You have to check. I'll have to ding that bell myself and make sure that I check my calendar.
If it's that time, maybe I'll sporadically join.
We got
since our big projects will be done.
It's the 27th, so it is a week from this Thursday. Mark will be on to talk about the updates to his 18.5 course, Stop Being Afraid of Houdini, and also he will be possibly bringing on one of his students from the course to talk to us about it as well, and we'll talk about what's new in that world, and we're also going to discuss the scholarship. There's going to be a scholarship. We are not going to announce all the details of it yet until we have it all taken care of, but I will tell you that it will be a scholarship to the Stop Being Afraid of Houdini course, and we will award that to somebody. We don't know what the criteria are going to be yet, but we're also going to do it with the Unreal course. And it is going to be a minted scholarship. So you'll get the certificate and everything. We'll say so-and-so is no longer afraid of Houdini or whatever it says on the scholarship certificate. You'll get a physical piece framed with their scholarship, and the NFT of the scholarship will be transferred to you. So that's how we're going to do it. Once it's announced, we'll put all the details out there. But physical pieces, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. I think people really love having a physical piece with an NFT. So check that out. The Stop Being Afraid of Houdini's out there. Is there anything else going on? Do you want to talk about Camp Mograph at all?
I can remind everyone about Camp Mograph.
Wish you would.
So coming soon, June 1st, tickets will be on sale for the second Camp Mograph. Camp Mograph 2020 V2 moved into 2021. It's in Portland, Oregon. It's going to be awesome. We've got a ton of amazing speakers and teachers. And we just added this last week, Clinton Jones from Corridor Digital. He's going to be teaching a surface imperfection course, as well as doing some morning yoga exercises for people. That's going to be fun. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Freaking
Very,
yoga
very
with Clint.
exciting.
Are you kidding me?
Right?
And the surface imperfections thing, talk about that for a second, because this is such a great concept for camp.
Yeah. And so, like, when this was originally brought up to me, I was like, I don't know, how do you do surface imperfections? Like, but then I didn't realize he had already done a tutorial basically on it, creating surface imperfections using like paper and like ink and stuff like that, and fingerprints and blah, blah, blah.
Glass
so
or something? Like, do you...
No, it's like paper or something, but then you go home and you scan it, and you can use those for surface imperfections and stuff. So super cool. I'm really excited about that one. And then we're working on one other teacher that we we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's going to be great. Make sure, if you're wanting to come to camp, make sure you are at your computer, ready to buy those tickets June 1st at noon Eastern time. So tickets are super duper limited. So if you want some, you got to make sure you're there. All right.
The original sales back in the day, people already grabbed up a lot, right?
I'm pretty sure this is, I mean, because we had some pre-sales, back in 2019, we had pre-sales, because we were expecting to do it in 2020. It was some pre-sales for the former camp alumni. And so they filled up a few spots. So we've still got.
Here's the thing: like the fact that they've held on to them through COVID tells you something, right?
We only had one person actually ask for a refund, and I was totally fine with giving refunds to everyone if they wanted it. But we only had one person, and they were like, "I hate to do this. I do not want to do this. I'm very worried about COVID." That was like right at the beginning, Yeah. So, but it's gonna be. It's gonna be good.
And we also thank our sponsors for just saying, "Hey, hold on to the sponsorships. We'll continue sponsoring when it happens."
Absolutely.
And they're still here.
The sponsors are 100% like, I mean, the camp wouldn't happen without the sponsors, And so we from the very beginning, we've tried to make camp as affordable as possible and as awesome as possible. So like, getting to learn different stuff from your peers, even jumping back to the basics and stuff like that. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah.
And getting to hang out for a few days with people. Food is all supplied, drinks are all supplied, your entertainment's all supplied. It's basically a 3-day all-inclusive vacation. All you got to do is pay for the ticket and pay to get there, So it's going to be good. June 1st at noon Eastern time. And a big shout out to our sponsors. Without them, the prices would be astronomically expensive.
Yeah.
But because of them, they help keep the prices down for the tickets, which is awesome. So first up, we've got Maxon, makers of Cinema 4D, Redshift, Red Giant, Forger. Some wonderful people over there. We've also got the wonderful people over at Otoy. Otoy is sponsoring as well. And then Andrew Kramer and team over at Video Copilot. Those are our village sponsors. You will be staying in one of the 3 villages there. And then next up, our gold sponsors are Minimal Massive and Grayscale Gorilla. We are extremely thankful to them for sponsoring as well. And finally, our bronze sponsors are AE Scripts and School of Motion. It's great to have them on board as well. And so big shout out and a lot of thanks to all of our sponsors. Make sure and set your dates. If you haven't set your date right now, your reminder on your phone for 10 minutes before. Dude, this is going to be like an NFT drop. You got to pick up that ticket,
That's true.
So, and the thing is, like, I was gonna say something, man. I don't remember what it was.
The tickets.
This is gonna be like the first event.
Oh yeah.
Back on, and so, and we were also saying that we were looking close at like the mask policy and stuff, and with the CDC coming out last week and saying, people who are vaccinated don't need to worry about it when you're outdoors and stuff. That's what's great about this thing. It's mostly outdoors, going on hikes, doing stuff, learning outdoors. It's gonna be good. So.
Yeah. So we'll just be following whatever guidelines for the local municipal something or other is putting out there,
Yep.
So
it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to get out there and start seeing people again.
Yeah, I've never been, but I heard really good things from people who've been there. They were like really praising it. So
yeah,
I can, even though I haven't been there, I can recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we will have to check out those tickets.
This year.
There you go. Come on, get you a ticket.
This will be your replacement for Burning Man.
Basically.
Right?
Yeah. They cancel it, so this is right. Similar event.
Yeah. So, I don't have any other week wrap-up topics. Or
It's been a hell of a week.
Yes, it
We've
has.
just been working way too much.
Yes.
Like, so, we got nothing to talk about. Because everything is NDA.
Yeah, I know. But we definitely have some time off coming. We're gonna do anyone who's on our Halo team or wants to join our Halo team. We're gonna have a Halo Day once our projects are over. That's gonna be June 11th. So if you haven't joined our Halo teams, just kind of hit us up on Slack or wherever. We've been having. I'm telling you, our Halo team. I know we've only talked about it a few times, but our Halo group I think we've gotten each other through COVID. I really do.
Yeah.
It's it's one thing to have friends on Slack and Skype people and be working and do whatever, but like the bonding that has gone on in the Halo group for the last 2 years while we've been cooped up, on like Xbox live chat has been pretty incredible. So if anybody would like to join us for that is going to be June 11th. It'll probably be just us playing Halo all day. We've come up with some ideas and some different games to play, as well as like a possible small bracketing thing to see who's the best at pistols and beaver nugs and all of that.
I think we should buy like a fake sword, the energy sword, and give it out as a trophy.
There needs to be a trophy.
So whoever wins, yeah.
The Pwn trophy, the trophy of Pwnage.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take a vacation at the end of June, assuming I can find another RV for the one that got canceled on me. But I'm going to be on vacation that week, so there will be no show that week. Then the next month there'll be another week like that because Matt will be on vacation. So just
I will
up there, check the schedule.
Going to Disney World.
We might run an evergreen at that point. We got a lot of evergreens in the pot, some specials and things that maybe some of the podcast listeners haven't heard from the stream. So we'll do that. So check in with us. And it's going to be a fun summer of Mograph, I guess.
I said energy sword, Jeremy, didn't I? I said energy sword.
Yeah, energy sword.
Yeah.
What about the I kind of like the hammer better, but
Yeah. Yeah.
What was I going to there was something really important. Dang it, I lost it. I don't remember. There was something really important that I was going to mention as far as streams and things, but I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. All right. Well,
yeah, well,
let's start chatting with Jan a little bit and
Jan, when we first met you, we were doing a podcast. It was at this dumpy little house that everyone was staying at. It was years and years ago. So technically you have been on the podcast.
That's right.
When we were switching places with everyone.
Las
and
Vegas.
I had seen your stuff all over the Maxon demo reel at NAB, and I'm like, oh man, who's this Jan Sladecko guy?
I saw it and I was like, who's this Jan who?
Yeah.
I was like, who's this woman? And like somebody had to tell me.
I get it a lot.
Yeah, someone had to tell me. I'm like, oh, okay.
So,
now I feel bad.
It's funny whenever we do these round table things. It almost always happens that some of the motion designers that I look up to a lot, just happen to show up, and I'm like, wait a second, what? So
yeah, like with Fuck Render, you were like, wait, what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty funny. It was actually awesome night. There was ended up so many people around the table and sharing. So it was proper. Proper geek night and get away from the busyness of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of on the outskirts.
I'm excited to go back though. I need to go back. I haven't had my Vegas fix in 2 years.
Yeah. So we'll see what's gonna be happening. Also, NAB got canceled right this year, so it's gonna be.
It's in October though.
It's in October.
Oh, it's gonna be in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In person.
Yeah. So in person.
In person.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Without the masks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can wear them if you want.
Yeah.
Everybody have the vaccination cards and.
I got mine. Yeah. I saw this really cool way of holding the like a vaccination holder. It's from the Lilo Dallas multipass. It's like a multipass.
Lilo Dallas multipass.
It holds your and it holds your COVID card.
I saw something on TikTok yesterday. They're like, you know what? You just post it on your Instagram, and then everybody will know you're cool. That's all you got to do.
Right. Right. I saw a funny tweet that said. The coronavirus pandemic response can be summed up in one thing. It's a coronavirus vaccination card that doesn't fit in your wallet.
Right. Yes, right? What are you going to do with that thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Put it in your back pocket of your jeans.
Back to you, Jan.
Yeah.
I digress.
Let's start from the beginning. There's a lot of stuff that you've done, and we've chatted a lot, and we've seen each other in person, and you've got so many pieces of greatness online that I feel like we need to go back. We don't have much else for the show today, and so let's just dig through and let's start from the beginning. And I want to know first of all your early stages of artistic talent. When did they start coming out? When you were younger?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's gonna be so original that I started up as a kid drawing, and I was obsessed with that. And my mom was taking me to her office, and no one of my no people at school or back there, no one has a computer, and my mom has computer home, like old 486 or even older, like 386, and she just showed me like Windows like 3.1, and there was the MS Paint. And I just started drawing there. I'm like, wow, I can draw something in digital world. And then I like cut it out. That was actually basically my first animation ever. I draw two people in MS Paint, and I draw the beach volleyball ball between them, and I cut it out, and I start dragging it with the mouse cursor, And I was just like, wow, they're playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And when you drop it, you bake in the image, and that's it. It's screwed up, and then you need to start drawing again.
Yeah.
And I was so obsessed with that. And from there, the rest is the history. I just started kind of like when I was 10 or 11, I got like some GIF animator. So I was like, I can actually draw the images and then put them to sequence, and I can do animation from that. And then I started using PowerPoint, and I was building even simple games. You can go somewhere, and then you can choose if you're gonna go left or right, and then you die. So
In
I was
PowerPoint?
building like, yeah, I was in PowerPoint actually doing games. I was like doing like soldiers always came and appear like a muzzle flash. So
That's awesome.
and then I started learning Flash, and I was doing action animation in Flash. So when I was 13, I was doing my short movies animated. It always took so long. And yeah, then I websites from there, Flash websites. Was a little bit older, like 16. And I guess that was kind of like the start. And then when I was 17, 18, I found out about After Effects. And my friend told me, you can do everything what you want in After Effects. And I downloaded, and I just did some few basic steps and in the beginning, but then I discovered Video Copilot, and from there it just took everything exponential.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how much like in the details, but After Effects I was just doing during the school and doing a lot of animations, and I was doing all the way to university, and I was already doing like a lot of fun stuff. And then then I just like after school I just like, okay, I want to do some animations. So I went to the biggest movie company in Czech Republic, and they do actually like VFX movies, and I showed them my show reel with like shooting zombies, you know, like from the Andrew Kramer and all that stuff. And they were kind of like looking at this like, was that you, the person who looked like a Rambo, like a machine gun shooting zombies? Just like, yeah, that was me. I was acting and doing VFX. And they're like, and they were like half laughing, but in the same time, they were looking for new people to retrain. So I got the job in one of the main VFX companies.
That's awesome.
As they just told me, okay, you're just gonna sit here and you're gonna be retouching the wires. So first few months, I was doing like the most like secondary job there.
Right.
But then we got into kind of like bigger movies, and I was working there for a few years. And then in the movies, they wanted to do motion design, and I started doing motion design graphics for movies. And then I'm like, wow, this is it. I don't want to do movies anymore. I want to do motion graphics. And from there, I actually quit, and I started working for local televisions and music videos. And then I thought, okay, Czech Republic is getting kind of small. So I moved to London without getting a job. Okay, I'm moving to London. And everybody, you are crazy, man. It's so expensive. You need to get the job. And I'm like, we'll see. I will keep rolling. And I send them tweet. They reply like, no one give me the job. I start sending email, and I didn't get the job. And I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And then I found like a Twitter. I just like, hey, I really like what you do. This is what I'm doing. And I just send them tweet, and they wrote me, it's good. Come on Tuesday. and that's how I got into MPC. and then I was working.
Sorry, so I wanted to step back before we get too far forward, but you said you were doing this through school, but you weren't taking classes on it. You were just doing this on the side. Is that right?
Yeah, basically I found the school, you know, and I was like wanted to do something with multimedia design and animation, and sadly enough, the school actually, like they told me, hey, we actually noticed you do effects and stuff. Could we pay you and you can teach our teachers? Like what? So I was like making good money at school, but in the same time I was frustrated because they weren't necessarily teaching you stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They were more like traditional art schools, so there was more we did some photography and like, you know, like developing your own photography and taking pictures on classic film. But in terms of animations and stuff, they didn't teach us much. So we were all self-taught. So that was kind of like frustrating. Nowadays it's like amazing. Like who start nowadays, you have so much like information, so many tutorials. Like YouTube was really small before. Like luckily it was Video Copilot already. That was the kind of starting at the time. So the early tutorials were like going on, and that was like huge.
I think the big thing
inspiration.
for anybody that's kind of around our age group is if they tried to take something like I took quote unquote 3D classes, right? But it was the
Yeah.
same thing. They didn't pay me, but they did say, "Oh, you already know how to use 3D Max, so just go do a project at home." It's like, but they weren't teaching me anything new, right? And back then there was no like theory for motion design. It was just like I was in video classes, and also here's how to
Yeah.
rotate a cube, and so there was no connection between the two. And obviously no YouTube, any of that. So anyone our age, it feels like we've had to just kind of pick all these little
Figure it
pieces
out.
here and there and figure out how to do it. You know?
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I took the film post-production classes at our university, and there was like I like the guy. He was a cool guy, but he was just like we were have to recording, on the old cassettes. I don't even know, mini DV they call them, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we need to bring them to Avid, and then we can just do some editing in Avid. It was just like so painful and slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, can I ask you a question? I see like in the movies they always have this green background. I would like to do something like that, some effects. And that's a special technology that's complicated. We're not going to be covering in our classes.
Yeah.
And
In other words, it's I don't know how to do that.
Right,
Don't
right.
ask me how to do that.
I don't know how to do green screen. And I'm just like, fuck. So that was my school. Like that's how far we got. And then I'm like, oh, it's actually you can do it in After Effects, and there is a key light, and it's actually pretty good. So I had to wait till work. Actually, I didn't learn those things. Actually, no. Green screen I learned and through Video Copilot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when I started working for movies, then they taught us so many tricks, like how to proper do key light and how to comping and color values and air perspective and matching the colors. So I have actually really good school from the working in the movies industry. Like we always went in theater, and there is a creative directors and supervisor, and you watching every shot. Like people work weeks on it, and you watch each shot on loop, and then they like stop it, 800% zoom, and then they like zoom in the theater, and then like everybody's looking for mistakes, and you just like silent, you just like don't breathe, and everybody's just looking and scanning and looking if there is there is a magenta, do you see this area, there should be different color grading, and they really like dissecting each shot, and the good thing is you can watching the supervisor and you when you see the shot you can try to have feedback for that shot in your head, and then you will listening him. And after a while, I was actually I see this fire is too green. And then he said, this fire is too green. And he just like, yes, like this is like the best what happened. So I really like those days. It was hard as F. It was the hardest time of my career. It was the most work, the least money, and really like the biggest like pain hustle, like especially when you start working with ILM. And then the ILM had like crazy standards compared to Czech Republic. So we are leaving the meetings, and we just like, how are we gonna deliver this job? It was like insane. They were just like, in this wing, in the jet in the background, do you see the aberration of the colors? There should be like, and they were like going in the details. So yeah,
Wow.
that's about the start. It was really not traditional. I know a lot of people started like with motion design, but yeah, I was starting with VFX.
And that's pretty cool though that original company actually kind of gave you, just kind of gave you a chance there. They looked at your stuff and they were like, no, we recognize your passion, so we're gonna bring you on. That's pretty cool.
Basically.
Yeah. But then you went to, you said MPC in London, right? And that's where all the color stuff was? Is that what you were talking about with is that where all the color grading and
no, now I was talking about UPP. That's like one of the biggest Central Europe post-production houses for movies. And after that, I did small loop. I started like doing on my own. I started working with some music videos. I was working for televisions and doing like really pure motion design. That in that time it was like 100% Andrew Kramer and anything I found on YouTube. And someone was telling me, wow, you're kind of good in like combining all different tutorials. And I feel that was the thing. Like you see this tutorial and you see this tutorial and this tutorial, and then how you can combine them together and like working from there. And based on that, I built like some basic motion design reel. Like it was 2009, I think. So yeah, 12 years ago. Wow. And and yeah, it was enough to get the job at MPC, and or maybe it was actually even like newer. It was 2013 when I was going to MPC, and that was interesting. Then I started speaking with other people and then meeting motion designers and understanding all the different side of this industry. And also a huge part was back then going on the meetups in London. For example, in LA, I'm kind of sad. There is not much stuff happening, but in
Really?
London, there was like See No Evil, Gluck event, and there was so many events. I mean, there is some, but compared to what was in London, there was like really good people, like all the key motion designers now from Man vs. Machine, Future Deluxe, like all the studios, they were just going there and having a drink and talking, and you can meet them on personal level, and no ego involved most of the time. So it was really good times. Even if you just go there for a drink, it was like good chat. And all the studios there in Soho nearby, so you were, now it's even further, but before it was mainly Soho. So you just go on the Friday, every Friday after work, you just go standing, drinking beer, and then you meet all the people from different studios. So I really liked that time. It was really good social, and I have a lot of people there back then. We were just drinking.
I missed
and
that.
Now they are owners like Territory Studio, like Marty, and we just knew them as a pulse from those events.
Right.
And so yeah, that was actually good times.
Yeah, we'll get back there. It'll happen again.
Yeah,
we'll make it
will.
happen.
But now
I'm
people
surprised
kind of,
there's not as many meetup groups in LA.
Yeah,
like
there is some. I don't want to like speak like there is none. There is like R&D. There is something from Maxon.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. God, that's been bugging me the whole time.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. The Maxon event, Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday. Live.
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Nice. Yeah, but I mean, London is. It's also the culture. I mean, LA people are a little bit lazy. Everybody's in the car and then they go to work and then they drive home and there's a traffic. They don't want to deal with things. So after work, they rather drive home. But in London, it was just like everybody has small apartments somewhere outskirts of the London or far. So they just want to go out. They just want to social. They just want to grab the beer.
Yeah.
So it was much more common, I feel.
Yeah, before they get on the tube, they want to hang out in downtown, or in London.
Just get the pint, few beers, and then you can...
How long have you lived in LA? And did you move to LA straight from London?
No, actually from London, I moved to Czech Republic. Then I had like actually, I would say almost my best part of my career was after London in Czech Republic, because I got there and they're like, wow, he worked in London, which was not really common. And then I started really choosing the jobs. So the company started giving me offers, and it was I wish it was here like that, because I was always like home and I got like multiple companies and I said, okay, show me the job, show me the briefs. So they put the briefs in front of me and then you choose which brief is going to look the best in your portfolio. Yeah. Here it's always like, can we book you on September? And for what? It's NDA. We're not going to tell you. It's a big name director. And it's just like, can you tell me what it is? No. And it's like really kind of secret, and then it's always like Apple job. And
it's always an Apple job.
But that was like really good. You could really choosing, and you could build good relationship. And one of my most interesting projects, and I could be like creative director and animator on them, or there was some creative director, but they give you so much freedom that I had really fun on those projects. And then after that, I moved to Germany, working with Ike Sponza. That was like crash course. I was starting, I'm motion designer after London, after Czech Republic, and then I came to Germany and like, no, I'm just kid learning Cinema 4D. Because like when I was working next to Manuel, I don't know if you will know Entagma tutorials, like Houdini. That guy is like, he's doing now Houdini, but he was like helping to Espresso. That's because of Manuel in the Cinema 4D. He used to work in Cinema 4D.
Oh, okay.
And he was like the guy who was like giving them all the technical feedback. He is, mastermind. He's so smart. He's like so into it. And when I was just working with him and he like, oh, no worries about it. I already wrote the Python script for you. And he was just coding everything. I was just like, what the hell?
Well, the Houdini stuff makes sense then. Right.
Yeah, no. And then they switched to Houdini, and then he kind of just like, goodbye, Cinema 4D. I have everything what I needed. Houdini and Redshift, and he just like, yada, yada. and left. But yeah, so that was insane. I was there working with Andrzej Zunka. He actually helped me to get there. So we are both from Czech Republic, and we are always like meeting in different studios throughout our career. And from there, I realized, okay, I'm kind of like not sure if I need some break, and I just moved to Spain, and with no goal. I just want to have fun, and I just want to enjoy life and just do whatever I want. So I just started learning Spanish, rollerblading in the city, dancing, playing beach volleyball, and after a while, I could start missing actually work. Even though I give myself budget for quarter year, not working and just having fun in Spain, I start missing it. So I start going to co-working space, and I start working on personal projects. And
what year was that?
That was 2016.
Okay.
That was 5 years ago.
Right.
And then I moved for 1 year back home, like 2017. And then I thought, okay, I still feel there's something missing in the career. I still feel like I could move somewhere, and I don't know what to do. And then I got job offer. Back then, someone told me, man, the mail in LA is the best compared to all the mails, London and stuff. In LA, you can go surfing, you can go, you can go skiing there. It's
not about like the actual work or anything.
Yeah,
it's just, you can go surfing, you can chill.
Basically, it's like really chill, and the big studio is bigger than New York, and they have like better jobs, and it's better day rate than in London. You should try. And I'm like, and I just thought about it. That could be cool. Maybe after Spain, I will text them. Man, I don't know how it works, like manifestation or what.
Yeah.
I just got the phone call, and out of nowhere, and they're like, hey, this is Mail LA. We got recommended in-house, like from some of the designers, actually Helen Sue, my friend now. And do you want to move to LA? And they did everything. They did visa for me. They pay like the transport. They gave me like a car and place for the first month. And I was just like, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. So yeah,
How much
here.
surfing did you do in the first month that you were there?
I feel so guilty. I'm here over 4 years, and I surfed once, and that was.
That's funny.
I totally like it was false advertisement.
That's funny.
It's funny though, but yeah, now I feel I'm here quite long actually. I wanted to come here for a year or two, but then I met a girl, and I'm here already 4 years. So we'll see what's gonna happen now. It's definitely. But can't complain. During the COVID, LA was one of the best places to be. It was, it was. You know, it's still spread out. You can go on the beach. You can go like a hike. You can just kind of like go somewhere like outside of the people. There's I can't imagine being in New York. That has to be really tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I'm surprised you didn't ever make it over to New York City, you know, because especially talking about how London was such a great place, you enjoyed it so much. It seems to me like New York would have been,
It's a really good question. It's a really good question. I kind of little bit hate myself for that, because now it's gonna be really hard to go to New York. I get so spoiled in LA. I wanted to. New York was my goal for 10 years. I'm not kidding. Over 10 years, I thought I will move to New York, and I got visa to offer to LA. So it was much more easier just to go LA and don't have to deal with visa. And then I thought I will go to New York after. But now after all the sun and hikes and beaches and chill, and then COVID hit, I'm just like, I still want to go to New York. I still want to, but it's going to be much more faster pace, more expensive rent. Everything is going to be a little bit more trickier. But I still want to do, it's more European vibe for sure, and cosmopolitan city. I just like, usually people do New York and then LA. That's kind of the order. I went kind of reverse, and I'm not getting any younger, and I'm just like, okay, it's going to be hustle and small apartment and everything.
And then they wise up and they come to Texas because their money goes so much further, but you know.
I don't know about that.
Well, not with all the Californians coming here. Catch 22, right?
Or Denver or anything, by the house and exactly. So that could be next step.
Are you and your girlfriend still together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up if it was a source. Wasn't sure. Because I've seen a bunch of your Facebook clips, your stories, your Instagrams. Y'all look like you're having a lot of fun. And you're doing a lot of extracurricular activities. I see you snowboarding. I see you going to Burning Man. I see you doing like all these like extreme physical, things that I don't think I'd be able to do. So I thought it would be good to maybe even talk a little bit about taking time to do stuff like that and getting away from the computer a little bit just to relax.
Yeah, I mean, especially talking about jumping off of that. I mean, you talked about taking a quarter of a year off just to go to Spain, and to play volleyball and like, learn Spanish and stuff like that. It's like that's kind of a dream right there. It's I don't know.
I mean, it's weird thing, I know a lot of friends were really like structured oriented, and they were like, okay, I need to this to get here. I need to make those money. I need to go to studio. But for me, I was kind of keeping a little bit fluidity in my life. And I was always trying to take a few months a year off to just traveling. I was since 24, we traveled a lot. I have a friend and he always find cheap flight tickets. So we were like flying all around, like I visit like States pretty soon, and then all around Europe and Japan, China, Indonesia. So we were like flying a lot, super cheap. A lot of friends have so much fun. And I realized I need that kind of in my life, the variety and different cultures. And I was always trying to keep my life like balanced. And the Spain, it was kind of because in the Germany, it was like working for a long time on one project, and it was a little bit draining. And I'm like, okay, I need some refreshment. I need some change. And I always trying to give myself that time off to, even in London, it was going on all those like meetups or parties or whatever, just going out, meet different people. And I somehow developed a good relationship with sport. And now especially LA, it's such a good weather. So I was biking to Mill, I was biking to Elastic, and then you meet friends and you can go bike around ocean, like you can just, I don't know, like 30, 50 miles, Palos Verdes, and then you meet another friends and they do downhill biking, and then you just, and then someone invites, we have also motorbike, do you want to try motorbike?
Oh my
like,
gosh,
sure,
yeah.
I will try. So I'm trying to do a lot of activities, especially because I have problem with my back. And I just like, my doctors told me you should not work on computer. And I'm like, there was a time when I was working like 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not just like having fun. I mean, I definitely, when I was working on astronauts, for a long time, my schedule was working at the Mill till like 7 p.m. And then order dinner. Maybe I shouldn't say it loud. Order dinner, and then I just switched to my project, and I was working on astronauts like till maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oof, yeah.
I ate dinner. I knew all the cleaning ladies at the Mill. There was like no one there, and then I just took the bike, and in the night I was just cycling back, and then it was just this kind of loop. That was actually before I met the girlfriend. Then when I met the girlfriend,
of course,
it just suddenly can't work like all day on the computer.
Yeah.
And also you maybe don't want to. And then we start kind of going more out and exploring things.
What's her name again?
Her name? Emma.
Okay.
Emma.
Yeah. It seems like y'all both have the right kind of personality to be doing all these crazy things. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just what I get from Instagram stories, but it seems like in order to do all those crazy things, you have to have a partner that's also willing to go do all those crazy things, because that's a lot.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. We both have kind of like, we want to enjoy the life and do things. The tricky part is when you want to combine everything together. You want to be healthy, you want to have a lot of friends, you want to have this kind of like ventures to going out, and more you do it, more you kind of getting addiction to do those outdoor activities. But then you realize, well, then you still have to do work, and then you need to study, and then you need to progress, and then you have the business idea and plan. So it's constantly kind of balancing things out and writing out kind of like the plan. So I'm actually right now trying to figure it out, how to combine everything together. And luckily enough, it seems it could work out. I really started learning also about mental health and and mindfulness. And I went to, I'm too long in LA. So there is a lot of spiritual woo-woo people, and I kind of touched that. And and I start seeing some stuff in it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can start combining things together. So I did this breathing animation recently, and
I saw it. It was beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
thank you. And it was suddenly like kind of start overlapping some things together. I'm spending a lot of time in nature, and breathing is important, and trying to help people. And I'm like, okay, let's combine together. And I made this piece, and it was after a long time when actually like my followers started like really like going up again. And so people liked it. I enjoyed it. So I thought maybe that could be like the direction how to start combining things. And
Yeah.
And I started now being in touch with some apps for breathing actually exercises, and they want to start like working with me, and they want to start like featuring it. So I could probably start like doing some business with those kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, it's
I love that.
Calm
It's
is
so
the
pretty.
one site that does a lot of this, right? Calm.
Yeah, basically Calm, and there's a few other ones. And so this was just kind of like simple one, and then I have like a few other ideas now, even some trippy animations, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've actually, from my experience in general in life, if you listen to your intuition and if you kind of do what you kind of feel drawn to, then it will pay off, or then it will work out. Like if I'm too much like thinking, oh, this person did that, I should do these steps, and this
Right.
person did that, it just doesn't have to work for you. It might be you don't have a personality for it, or maybe you start forcing yourself to be in another person's shoes. So maybe like my bohemian approach to life so far worked for me, kind of.
It's very hard to stop listening to the own voice in your head, and or you need to listen to the own voice in your head if it's the good stuff. If it's the bad stuff, then don't listen to the voice in your head. But definitely like follow your path.
You need to differentiate two voices in your head, kind of, because there is the ego and there is actually true self, and the ego is construct from upbringing and society and what parents told you and this and that, and it's just kind of like the mind which is trying to figure out everything and is overanalyzing. Oftentimes, in my case, I was like huge overanalyzer as well. But there is this like deep voice, this kind of like you feel, oh no, this doesn't feel good for me, or yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it and I'm not watching time and time flows and I'm loving this. And that's kind of a more the intuition. That's where is your heart is, and that's where it's kind of the state of flow is. And more you develop listening this inner voice, then more, I guess, happiness you can bring to your life. And then use your mind and the logic thinking as a tool to get there, actually, instead of get stressed and compare too much. And I don't know, this is kind of a big subject, of course.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, but that's what we're
mental
here
health.
for, you know. I mean, got to help people who are struggling with it, right? Like,
yeah, it's
yeah.
It's so easy to compare. It's so easy to get up in your head. And I've been there many times. I kind of like say, I figured it out. It's nowadays more than ever. You see the Instagram, you see other people followers, and you see this person, and he sold an NFT, and he's fucking rich, and he's doing that, and then you just like, oh damn it, like how come? And then you get all upset, and then you maybe find out that he's, or maybe you don't find out, but he maybe have huge struggling in his family or like other stuff in part of life, and you comparing just the shiny things.
Just the highlights.
We call
Just
it
the highlights.
we've mentioned that quite a few times, I think, where it's like your on stage persona and your backstage persona, and people never see the backstage persona when they're looking at your NFTs and your Instagrams and all the other things. They don't know what you've been going through and how many times you failed to get to that place. But doing the things like where you sit down and lose track of time, man.
Yeah.
You know it's good when you lose track of time.
Yeah. No. Just checking. There's some question also. Are we replying on the question as we
Yes.
go?
Oh, there
or-
was a
can if you
question.
want.
Was it Gabriel or Gabe?
Gabe.
Yeah, had the
Do you
question.
remember any other artist website that you used to visit a bunch when you were younger? Inspiration. That's a good question. I believe I was checking the Hello Lux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there was some like Polish guy. What is it? What is his name? He has a hard name, some Ray Bonovitz. I can't even remember him.
Rabinowitz
Yeah, I think
from Red Giant, or
he's maybe in Regina now, yeah.
he
I
was.
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, and then just like all the websites, what they were. I don't even remember really well. Really, Andrew Kramer was the huge one, and then anything you could find, just Googling. I was actually starting on the stick animations, like in the Flash. I was watching some brutal animations, just stick figures, and they were always like shooting and attacking, and there was some crazy metal music over top, and I'm like, wow, what is this? I love it so much. And I don't know if I can find it somewhere.
I remember those.
Is that the like the it's the fight scenes, but between the stick figures, right? Yeah. I remember that. That's classic Flash animation.
Yeah, so that was like huge inspiration. There's like Siaxo was some guy, he was like a master in it. And I was like working on those animations back then. And that was like when I was working on it, like other kids were playing outside. That's what I'm talking about. Like other kids were playing outside. It was weekend, and I was just like playing. I was just in Flash and animating, and then some guys, like I don't know, like 13.
Dude, that's
14.
that's why you need to get out into nature now. You're like, oh, I missed out while I was a kid.
No. Basically, I actually was thinking about it. I'm kind of like now living the life of people who have in 20s, so like teenagers. I'm just like, okay, I need to go out and I need to chill and smoke a pot, or I don't know. I'm just like rediscovering life. But in the same time, I feel I need to find a good balance. I mean, luckily enough, I'm really glad that I have a lot of interesting and successful people around me, and you can see that the life is oftentimes built by the routine or the lifestyle you have and the habits, and that's formed by your beliefs. So then when you see those people closely. And also they said that you are formed by the 5 people you're hanging out the most, that you start like kind of like copying the mechanisms. And so it's good to surround yourself with the people who are doing life great and they're kind of inspirational.
Yeah.
So it kind of now helps me to see, okay, if I want to kind of move forward, if I want to go to the next step, because you can't just like always chilling and just having fun, because what's going to happen next? Like, as a freelancer, there's going to be more freelancers coming in, and they'll be younger and more passionate, and they will be like all in. I just want to sit on computer all day, and I love it. And I'll be just like, oh, I want to go for a hike now. And then you already start kind of losing the game, I feel. So it's about, what are you guys doing? Like starting your business, for example. That's great.
Yeah, is that a product of getting older? Is you're like, I don't. Like, it's not that you lose passion for what you want to do. It's just that you want to be able to say, okay, I'm not working this much anymore. It's time for me to enjoy some things in between doing this. It's like a slowdown.
You know what happened to me, and I don't want to this might be bad, or maybe I shouldn't say it because I don't want to discourage anyone. But I guess I was, because I started so young, and I was working in professional level over 10 years, then after a while, and it actually mainly happened at the mail, they give you a new job and it's just like, do this, and then you don't know for who it is, you don't know where they're playing it, and you barely finish it, and you have another job, and you just you start really manufacture, and you don't even create relationship with those jobs anymore, and you're not there in the pitch oftentimes in the beginning. You're just becoming just the one part of the process, just animate this, and I got kind of detached from it. I start realizing I'm just making no money, but I don't have any relationship with my work. And as a kid, I started doing those animations because I wanted to do something funny and communicate it and show it people, and they laugh or whatever. But then I start realizing I'm just doing it as a tool now, just to promote anything I don't even care oftentimes. And don't get me wrong, I had amazing time especially when you have more freedom or ownership, but everybody is different. Some people like to have constraints and this is what I do the best as I can do. But I kind of like to see the bigger picture. And then I start realizing I doing this, but I want to communicate, and I'm not communicating. So that's when I start working on astronauts. I start practicing communication through my work. And that was changing. That was changing everything. Then I started my followers start skyrocketing. That was suddenly from, I don't know, 5,000, I got to 30,000, and it just started going up and then up. because I create communication, because I start like expressing myself. And I thought this is a meaningful thing for me. And then I tried some other jobs, and don't get me wrong, I was working in some amazing studios and it was still fun. But then what was also life-changing big change when I got approached for music video for J Balvin. And then you could figuring out like communicating, creating the story, putting together team, working with people you admire. And that was also like, whoa, I actually really liking this. I like to working with people, with friends, have like still the bigger vision, like putting together animatic everything. And even though I didn't do all the shots, just to feel you have to use your brain kind of to kind of like figuring out all the things together and connect. I was suddenly from like 30% brain activity, it was 120. And I'm just like, oh, this is like exciting. And then NFT came. I mean, kind of like jumping in the time now, but more I could express myself, more I felt like freedom and happiness. And that's where I'm right now. I'm just trying to don't get it's not that I lost the passion, but I guess I just want to use my time meaningful, if it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we work for we have clients that have some really fun projects. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And we work on some things where we get to do some really cool things and make money doing it. But there are, in our business, there are tons of stuff that come through that are definitely just, like you said, it's like you're just going through the motions because somebody needs an explainer video. I mean, how much creativity am I going to put into that? And nowadays, it's like now we're trying to delegate tasks, and we have other people that work with us, for us, whatever. And you want to. There's something about this age where you just kind of want to get to the next level. You're not going to do. Matt and I in 2012. When we met, we were working at a place where we were doing logos all day, every day. We put in our 10,000 hours on that. So it's like now you want to do something else, or maybe direct someone else and be able to use that creativity as often as possible, right? And I wanted to ask you about the J Balvin. Balvin, right?
Balvin, yeah.
About that, because
I'll be right back.
Sure. See, we can never make it through the. We can never make it through without having to pee.
Pee break.
But the video that you did, if I'm not mistaken, because this is actually featured on our site, is an article on everything, and I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly, you actually were kind of working with the team. I don't know if you were managing the team, what you were doing specifically, but I wanted to learn more about that process because this is a very intense piece of work, right? Like there was a lot of moving parts. What were some of the things that you came up with on this? Like, what was your role and what challenges?
Yeah, I mean, this was like fun. This was one of the milestones in my career for sure. It was after I left the studios, I started freelancing, and I started finding out that even freelancing doesn't give me the gist I would like to. And then I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? I mean, I need some moving forward in my career. I need some next step. What is gonna be? So then I like practice manifestation, and I know it sounds silly, but I just sit down and I was just like, I want to work with some people I admire. I want to use my brain capacity fully. I want to work on some bigger project where I have ownership, and I want to do something I enjoy. And I'm not kidding. 2 days after, I got a random phone call from guy, and he told me, okay, I'm a producer from Colin Tiley, from the director of music videos. Because of the COVID, we can't do live shooting, and we want to do full animated music video. And we saw your talk on Mograph, and I'm following you for a while. It was a Dan Karp, like amazing producer, by the way, really like swear by that guy. And he told me, would you like to make your own team? You know, how often you get this offer, like someone came to you, usually like, you get plenty of, as a freelancer, you get plenty of job offers, like for production company where everything is set up. You don't even know what are you signing in, but suddenly someone came to you, hey, do you make your own team and do whatever you want? And I was just like, damn, this is going to be like tight. Like they want You have like over 70 shots, character animations, expressions, telling the story. Like,
Whew, man.
this is not common for motion designers.
Wow.
You know, you're animating cubes and then you put some Mograph on it. But then suddenly, like, character animation, telling the love story,
Yeah.
which was this was designed for live action. So this was nothing. There was not 3D at all in the thought process when they give us the script. So I sit on it for like a day or 2 days, and I call all my friends. I'm not kidding. All of them told me, don't take it. All of them told me, this is too much work.
Yeah.
This is impossible to do. And my girlfriend was, do it. You will be stupid if you don't do it. Do it. And I'm like, okay, I guess we are doing it. And
you don't listen to your friends. You always got to listen to the girlfriend. I love that.
and man, not burnout, but I put like crazy. I put like 700 hours in less than 2 months or 2 months. So it was working like nuts. And I called like all my like best buddies, like from the mail, from Elastic. Like luckily in the moment I already knew like some A-star team here. And the music video is still kind of appealing these days. You know, it's something different. And I was able to establish like a killer team. Like I never had like such a good team. And I was in new position. Suddenly you have to lead the team. Surprisingly, I found out I'm better in talking than doing almost. So I was like, I was really good in like putting together the team to give them the brief. I still had to like do all the shots. So I like the layout and the animatic, the previs. So I just jump in Cinema 4D. I like quickly bashed out this 3D scenes. I did like as quick as I could, but still took me like probably a week to basically entire music video, like the shots. Then I had to make like some managing system. Then we got the Slack. Then we got this producer, and we just like start hiring people. And then you have to start dealing with so many things. We had like 15 people, and now different time zones, and then you're constantly working out. And then you want to go sleep, and then the people in Korea are waking up, and you are exhausted. They're like, "What is my brief for today?" And if you don't give him the brief, you will lose. I don't know how many $100 you're paying him. So you need to make sure
you're going to bed, and if they don't have anything to do.
So I was animating, I was doing creative direction, I was doing shots, and I was producing, and I was establishing the team. So I even was measuring time, which seat I'm currently sitting on. I had like and like measuring my hours to kind of like learn from the project as much as I could. And it was overall an amazing experience, but it almost killed me towards the end. It was like too much. It was too much. We don't know till now. We don't know how we did it. It was just so much work, and the motion capture data, there were some issues, and then we had to like last minute, 7 days before delivery, we need to make new team of animators and like hand animating like half of the things. So
man,
it was really challenging project, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and it taught me a couple of things. And one of the things you told me, and that's what you said, that you getting to the point that you want to hiring people and work with team. I really enjoy not being just, working alone can have benefits, but working in the team, the creative energy, and even like some, joking and like more heads, more no, it was really refreshing for me to work that way. So that's what I would like to do, the kind of next step, work with the people, and
And those
I was going to say, based on the stories that you were telling us previously, where you're able to call out the flaws in the videos that you guys were watching and stuff like that, it seems to me like you have such a good understanding of the process and how things are supposed to look that you would be really good in a leadership position like that.
Thank you. I mean, I guess sometimes I notice even with my work, I'm working and then I like take the paper and I write the notes, and I like see all the details and I like write the notes, and I'm just like, but now I have to do everything. And then you have like, a lot of work, and then I'm sometimes frustrated. I would like to do much more work. I would like to much more contribute and keep doing stuff. But as an individual, as alone, it's just limited to things you can do, especially if you want to keep sanity and in life and health. Because, I see my father was in 60s, totally fucked up health. and I'm like, I don't want to go the direction. I
Right.
want to keep healthy. I want to keep
Yeah.
active. I need certain things in my life. And so yeah, I think eventually I would love to move the direction, but now it's, of course, the people I would love to work with, they are like high tiers, they're super expensive. So now you have
Right.
to, okay, where I get the funding for the company, where I get like the overhead
Yeah.
for the budget. So I have to do client work, but do I want to do client work? I want to start doing now it's, the thing is, I'm not oftentimes deciding rationally. I'm not like, okay, this is gonna be well paid. I will do this. This is gonna be like big client, tech company. They have a lot of money. I will establish team. I don't think that way. I don't think I would enjoy it. I'm like, I want to do those kind of animations. Let's find a way how to get there. And I'm oftentimes doing it on behalf of money, that I could make more money if I would making decisions differently. But even now, there's like the breathing animations and stuff. I have actually now a bunch of ideas, even with VR and stuff. Working with people, I already start like writing with people, writing with scientists. I start writing. I want to do new type of projects which I don't see, and I want to see and experiment. And now I have to find money to start doing those kind of things.
That's the problem that you come up on, right? Like, it's when you come up with an idea and the only way to get there is money, you know? It's
and discipline and go with it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
I'm a good idea generator, by the way. But
Yeah.
but,
yeah, I love
then
what you did with the even like in these in the behind the scenes thing that you have here. Like I love this idea that you did here. You were in the design concepts and you put the emotions of the people on as like little masks, you know.
oh yeah, this helps so much with because I knew there's gonna be too much stuff to handle, and when I have animators, I was just like, you can read the emotions what we're trying to accomplish
That's great.
through the previs. So I put a little bit more effort in the previs than usually people do, but then the animators and other people who were working on it, they knew what we are doing exactly.
Yeah. But this is such a massive amount of shots and a massive amount of people working. Like, I know you said you use Slack and stuff, but how else do you manage that with that much stuff? I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. You don't sleep. No, I was actually, you know what is interesting? I was getting sometimes almost numb at the Mail. I shouldn't say that. Mail is a great company. I mean, I love the people there and everything. But after a while, I was kind of like I couldn't focus. I was trying to find getaway, like go for a walk, play ping pong. I was just like escaping from computer. And I was like, I don't know, maybe my brain is not effective as it used to be. I was like starting like having self-doubts, and I started like feeling negative about myself. But then suddenly this job came in such a huge amount, and then I was just like hyper focused. I was just like, okay, we need to this, and my brain was like switched to another gear.
I've had the exact same thing happen. Like, seriously, it's like you'll get so into one job that it's absolutely draining on you, and then you do another job it's kind of the same thing, you know, per se, but it's different. You know, and you're just like, okay, cool, I'm in it again. I like it, you know, because you're not doing the exact same stuff over and over and over again.
Exactly. It's become so immersive, and it totally like caught me. So I started like really like being as efficient as I could. And then I came up with a bunch of things. You know, I came up, we used to Notion and Slack, and then in Notion,
yeah.
And I really enjoy like doing interactive tables, like the sheets. So you can like really switch the animators, write the shots. And I was like, I really try to build this. I was enjoying this part, actually, surprisingly. I really enjoy to building this kind of, it's basically someone using Shotgun and other tools, but we create our own, which was like not necessary buttons, really kind of like what we needed. And then people started using it and switching the files, and everything started working automatically. So as much as I could, I automatized. And then, as I said, the team from the production company, they gave their producers, and their producer, he wants to be supervisor, and he really is hands-on. He was the best producer I worked with. He was like helping us with everything, calling with XNs, negotiating deals, helping on the set. So he was like huge help. He was like, without him, I would be screwed. So he was helping me with contracts, with paperwork for artists.
That's good.
I could focus on creativity, and he was like taking a huge part of work from my plate.
Dude, that's what we did with Notion. We did the same thing. We're building systems customized to what we're doing, and it's so great.
It's good. It's best.
And so, oh, I want to ask you about, like, okay, you were saying he was calling accents too. Did you? How was that process? I didn't mean to derail your.
Yeah, the accents was, I mean, we were shooting, it was during the COVID, so we didn't get any people on board, but we have like people on Skype. So we had people from Faceware and Accents on the Skype call, and they were like watching over our shoulders. And if we need anything, they were giving us feedback immediately, like what to do, how to adjust things. No one has experience with it. We are on the set, and suddenly like one joint disappeared, and then the knee joint was coming from the shoulder, and he's just like,
the characters.
We will fix it in the post. There is some cleaning button or something like that. So we were like really like freestyling, but luckily the Xsense data was actually pretty decent. What was issue was Faceware, like the face reading that we basically. I don't know if it was the problem of the guy who was processing the data and he was lying us, or if it was just like so unusable, but we basically threw away all the data. And then we had to like hand animate it in last minute, which was insane. I was like, call my friend and just like, hey, Mike, how are you? Long time no see. We have the job here. We already started and we already running on the money, running low. We are basically like budget is gone. And we have 6 days to deliver, and we need 3.5 minutes, 70 shots of character animation.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He was just like, oh,
click.
It's just like, thanks for, in the beginning, music video, that's cool, thanks for calling me. And then he like finished the call, and then he called me back, Jan, that's a lot of work. And I was just like, well, do you have any friends who can help us? But keep in mind we don't have money. And so luckily we still were able to pay them a couple of $100 per day. It was we couldn't give them like full day rate, but we found 5 animators and they were like bashing it. Like in that moment we had 2 teams. We had like motion design team and a character animation team. So Dan took over the facial expression team and stuff, because I just couldn't do everything. So then I was like taking care of one team and his second team. And it was like really, luckily all the experience from the big post-production houses come in handy because you kind of know the workflow. But challenging all the way. And then we found Chinese render farm that also was actually amazing. They helped us a lot.
Who is that?
Fox Render Farm. I'm actually working with them even now. Even like my NFTs, I'm now rendering with them. And
what's the engine that it or engines that it uses?
What do you mean?
Like, will it do like Redshift and Octane and?
Oh yeah, they man, I was even calling them and just like, I need Forester, and they, oh yeah, let me check. We have this version, and they are such a supportive team. So even if they don't have something, they can install it for you. So yeah, they have Redshift, they have Octane, they have all kind of things. But I was using Redshift.
There's that meme that goes around in our industry sometimes. It's like the creative process. This is awesome. This is tricky. This is shit. I am shit. This might be okay. It's awesome. And especially on those big projects, that's what happens. You get so burnt out, and then it's over, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that was cool. And then you get amnesia. And the next big project comes
amnesia.
along. You forget.
And then they come back and they want to do a whole nother set, and you're like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then you forget that it's
how much work it is. But it's still rewarding.
You get into it, and then it's too late, and fuck.
I
have to go. But someone is actually writing, hey man, ZenFrame's website expired. That's another thing. I used to this. I didn't set it when they told me, hey, you want to do this full music video, and I thought, okay, but I want to use it as when we already working on it and we're redoing everything and I'm establishing team and stuff, I want to use it as a chance to kind of like start up something. So I told them we're going to do it under the name ZenFrames, and we basically use it as a launch of the company ZenFrames. But because this project was so devastating, when we finish it, I got a phone call from Matthew Cullen, I think, director for music video for Katy Perry. They wanted to do full animated music video for Katy Perry. And I'm just like, wow, J Balvin, Katy Perry, 2 jobs like this behind each other. That's like amazing start for the company. But I was like, literally, I was not okay. I was like, everything you could imagine, like back fuck up, eyes, like I was like, there's like on the wheelchair. All the team was like exhausted. Like
Yeah.
most of the people were working after hours because they were working still in their studios and companies, like Mail, Elastic. So everybody was burned out. And this is like coming back from the battle, and everybody is just like bleeding.
Yeah.
And they're like, hooray, one more battle.
Missing limbs.
So
yeah.
so I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull it off. So I'm like, I had to cancel the job. And it also made me think after. I was like thinking, this was cool. It was really cool experience. But still, like a lot of people, we don't understand the music video. We don't understand what was happening. So was this girl real or wasn't real?
Yeah.
And then I don't necessarily listen J Balvin music. And it made me think, this was cool. We put shitloads of hours and energy, but still, you put so much energy to one project, so much overtime, and then it's just done. And that's it.
Right.
Like people talking about the song, they're not talking about animation. And
they
I
flip
thought,
through it on Instagram for like 2 seconds and then it's gone, right? Like
yeah,
all that work.
And I thought it wouldn't be cool to use the time and power to building something, like to know that always when you do this heavy work, then you are just one step higher instead of starting over again. Like, which when you're building the company, that's kind of what's happening. Like, you know, like if I would now use for Zen frames, then it would work. But the thing is, I see many directions you can go as a motion designer as you could think older. You can become senior creative director in some studio, or you can start your company and start studio, or you can like trying to boost your day rates high as possible and be super efficient and just keep hustling that way as long as you can. Or I don't know, do anything else. But I felt as a starting studio, after this experience, I was like, I still wanted to have more per se in the project. I still would like to have more freedom. And then the fact they were like, no, we have to do it in this crazy deadline. And then we are like really bleeding towards the end. And I was trying to protect my team. I was trying to give them more time. And there was no discussion with them. And I was just like, I guess I need more ownership. I want to have more word per se. And that would be ultimately to doing your own projects, to build your own product, to do something which you're developing, your brand. And that's where I'm playing right now with my thinking process and where I would like to go. And that's a little bit harder way because you're starting something which doesn't have to work. You don't have to get the money.
But it makes sense though, because when you are working for other people under a tight deadline, it is so hard to be creative.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like they're hiring you because they know you're good at something, because maybe you did like a really nice personal project or something on your Instagram that you spent all this time on, but then they want you to do the same thing and they want you to do it in like 5 minutes, and you're like, I can't be creative in that amount of time.
Yeah, and this one of the things also happened. Like when I was starting, there was like not so many motion designers, and then you do something like Sparticles, and you do cruise simulation, and you're like, wow, this is cool, and I don't see this often. And I felt I'm always not reinventing, but coming up with something new and fresh. But now when you get the job, they like, the deadline are much shorter. Okay, we need to do it in a week or 2 weeks, and then we want particles, and the reference is man versus machine, and they have like beautiful Houdini simulations, and it's just like you're trying to reach mountain, which is like so well done, but you have like much fraction of the time, fraction of the budget. You kind of like and then I start feeling I'm not coming up with the new things. I'm just constantly ripping off something, copying some existing stuff, and you're becoming kind of in this loop. And it for some people can be really exciting, especially when they're coming to the industry, or like, oh, I can look up this and trying to mimic it. But I feel what I'm contributing to this industry, what I'm contributing to Word, and maybe it's too ambitious of me to ask those questions, but I, as you said, when I take a paper and I start thinking about some bigger ideas and concepts, I'm like so much enjoying to think outside of the box. But then I run, okay, money. Who's gonna pay this? How can I create this? And therefore, I was kind of using now NFT a little bit as the money which I made on NFT. I want to put back to my work, to founding whatever is gonna be my next steps. And in the same time, I'm really like studying a lot. Last year, I actually took a little bit break from motion design, and The only reason is because I took motion design. Before, motion design was my life. And now I thought motion design is my language. It's the way how can I express myself. It's the way how I can communicate.
That's good.
I like
But-
that.
That's good.
I like that a lot.
But the question is what I want to communicate. So I actually spent a year of studying all different things, then motion design now. And now I'm trying to think how to combine those things together.
It's funny that you said that thing about like trying to get these references from other people, because like we literally have had at least one and maybe two projects where somebody has come to us and said, "Hey, we want to do this," and we got a quote from the mill.
Yeah.
It's too high.
Yeah.
And so they'll give us like shots of things. Like I'm pretty sure one of them was something that you did at some point. It was something from the mill. We're like, we want it to look like this guy's stuff, and it's like, well, yes, but
And we have like a fraction
Of the budget. Yeah.
for it. It's like,
no, that's the tricky thing, and that's what's happening more and more often. Like they did it, and then there is like some crazy student who wants to like learn it, so he just put insane hours and bleed out, and then he do it, and then he's undercutting the prices, and
yeah.
so
We should start an offshoot called the Mule.
yeah, basically.
Just a bunch of workhorses
But man,
ripping
this
off
is
the mill.
But this is happening also, like the people from Man vs Machine, like there is like the people coming to other studios, like the cheaper studios and still kind of high profiles, and they're referencing Man V all the time. And then Man V, why they don't come to us? Why then we getting like those kind of like projects? And when they coming to other studios, so it's like everybody trying to save the money, and it's kind of it makes sense. I mean, if you have a business, you're trying to spend as little as possible. But then if you are creative, you want to work a crazy experimental thing, and you want to be wild. So it's like to find the happy middle. It is interesting, and everybody trying to reach it out. Everybody trying to find the golden formula.
yeah. I wanted to talk about the astronauts a little more. Juan in the chat has a question wanting to know about how you animated your astronaut characters. Did you no, well, there wasn't anything really extreme, so it's not like you had to like, well, there was some stuff, but were you hand animating? Were you mixamoing? What were you doing there?
Yeah, I mean, basically 90% I would say is hand animated. One of the reasons I started doing astronauts when it was already becoming really trendy, and I was like, and I kind of like didn't want to. I was always against trends. I was always kind of like on purpose, dodging and
But
avoiding
space
trends.
animations are so fun, though. It's like I don't care that it's a fad. You know?
It's also for me the huge thing is I'm not character animator, and anything else than astronaut is pain to animate because you need to work with weight and face and expressions. The astronauts hidden in the helmet, floating in the space, really clumsy. It's really a grateful object to animate, and also, it kind of worked.
You don't
well
even need you don't even need bones and joints and things.
Yeah.
You just put a couple deformers and make them kind of move a little bit.
I mean,
you know,
we still did use the bones, but it was the hardest scenes were when they were on the ground. Like when I was like walking in the second episode and doesn't have oxygen and fall on the ground. I literally had a friend who was actually acting it for me, and then he acting it, and then I put it on the computer and I was like watching it, and I was really like animating almost based on that. I even have it like in Cinema 4D as a plate. And so sometimes I was really animating based on something. When they was grabbing the car, I was like pushing myself outside from the table and trying to grab the table, like following my hand, how my hand, like if you look at the Pixar and stuff like behind the scenes, all those guys doing like weird things and playing the stuff there and acting it for itself and falling on the floor. So you get into that level. You suddenly start playing and acting and trying to understand, oh, this is actually how my hand moves, how grabbing things, because you don't think about it normally. So there was a lot of that. And that was also the most time-consuming part of it. For Instagram, that time it was kind of overkill. I was just like, I'm putting so much time, like for each episode, and then getting custom sound design and getting voiceovers, and then I see people doing dailies, and I was just like, there is like no way I'm spending so much time on this. So I was trying.
Yeah, but it sets a higher bar. you know, versus doing dailies and stuff like that. Like this is this one I remember.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
all of yours I remember very well.
Mm-hmm.
Versus some of these dailies that I'm seeing, you know.
And I also want
over.
to say, one of the biggest things that I learned from this is when you did the breakdown on it on Maxon, and I learned that there was the possibility of combining dynamics with actual keyframe animation. I did not even realize that was a thing until that was 2018, I think, that you did this presentation or so.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you mix dynamics when it hits the thing. Then you mix the dynamics with keyframes?
There was a follow spline. So basically you keep because the car would fall down. So I just have the animation with keyframes, and then you in dynamic settings, you put the follow spline, and you can put the follow position and follow rotation.
Yeah.
And it will basically start trying to keep the original animation, but still keep dynamic, and then you keep the wheel dynamic. I mean, I have weird obsession with details and like doing like small things which oftentimes people don't really care or notice, but I always like putting extra hours on it, which maybe that's why then I need to escape from the computer, because over the years it definitely took a toll on me. But so that was kind of like, this technique is people not using it too often, but it's actually really powerful. You can use it for anything, for logo animations and flying through things and interacting, but still like get where you need to get, and you can animate also the follow position. This one was kind of like, it looks like simple. He's just scrolling, but to make it look believable, like when you're moving on the hand, you move the weight on the left. So it's mainly about the weight, to get the volume, to get the the physics.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple years. Didn't you reenact this on video yourself before you animated it?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean like the grabbing thing?
The crawling.
This one, my actually like really good friend Woo Sang Kang, I was trying to do this, but he's actually better actor than me, or better in acting. So then he was like walking at the mill and falling on the floor, and I'm like, oh man, that looks cool. So I was recording on the phone, and then
that's a great technique though, because you really get having a reference is just
you get the timing, and now you have to move this knee right and this. So in that way it was good. And then when they are in the air, then it was just more grabbing. So you can practice grabbing. It's not so hard movement. So I really enjoy working on those, and I have a bunch of more episodes like sketch. I have like maybe 10 more episodes. I was preparing to do entire series, but unfortunately I didn't really ended up going anywhere with this. I finished with first episode. I was getting a lot of shit and also a lot of admire. It was kind of like mix, probably more admiring, but also a lot of people like from industry, and top people in industry. They were like, we like your astronauts, but could you stop doing astronauts? Like, there is so many astronauts. Could you leave this?
Yeah, see, that's one of those things where it's like, just do what you want to do, and man, there's so much.
I got called out even from some like curators on NFT. Like, there's so many astronauts. Can you do something better? And I was like, well, that was my way how I communicate with people, and it works well for me. So right now I'm kind of in this decision points, like, because the astronauts are easy humor, which the focus was to entertain people, just like make some easy laughs, make someone days a little bit brighter. Now I'm deciding, okay, do I want to do that? Do I want to someone laugh and entertain for a little bit, for a few seconds of their day? Or I want to try to do something which could actually maybe have long-term benefits for their health or mental health, or do something which could be even like more meaningful. And that's already like you lowering your audience, because everybody likes humor, like this wider audience. Not everybody wants to work on themselves. Not everyone wants to do some kind of exercises or even like think they have to work on. So I'm now kind of deciding which way to go. But I love bringing humor, and I love to do kind of storytelling through my work.
This one's so good.
Yeah,
this one is so good.
Why I have such a block when it comes to being creative is like, I would have never thought about this. It's going on the street, it's at this angle, and then the cars, like, to me, like, I my brain just does not think that way at all. As like a technical artist, that's such a creative thing. Like, how do you come up with these ideas? It was the same thing like when you did like the ice cream truck one. I think it melts, right?
Yeah, the ice cream truck, and and this is sometimes there is this book, Still Like an Artist, and they're basically saying that the creativity is just hiding your sources.
Yeah.
And for example, I saw a while ago, I saw some installation which was like ice cream track melted on the beach. So they just parked there, and it was like really art installation. And it was like the ice cream track was actually made from ice and melted. And I love that. And then I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to do it in Houdini and like actually melt the ice cream track? So then you have this kind of like idea, and then I was working already on the car series. So I'm like, okay, let's find a way how to put it together. But why the ice cream track would melt? Well, maybe there is going to be some melting gun and the ice cream track is going to be running. And then you just kind of like start back. What's the word? Like you're basically going from
backwards.
Backwards. You're like, I want to have ice cream track melted. And then like, why? And then you kind of start building the story around that. And then you just put a little bit, sprinkle some additional elements like skateboarder and stuff just to make scene more busy so people can watch the loop longer. But you have like some backbone already, which you start using on it. It did different. Like, for example, the flying car, the astronauts, it started totally different. It was like, I was in the Griffith Observatory in LA. I will just tell you for one idea, this was actually most complex way how I came up with the animation, or most not direct. I was like in the Griffith Observatory, and they have a simulation where it was a day and night, like basically cycle animation in the desert, and the shadow was moving, and I'm like, wow, this looks really interesting. That'd be cool if something is happening there, like something in that like cycle. So I had the desert, and I thought maybe I could have a car, and the car be like jumping in the desert, like going through the rocks, and there'll be like a drunken guy, and it's gonna be like endless hangover, and he'll be just in this car and like just like with his bottle. And then I thought, well, I live nearby desert. Why I wouldn't just take the car and go drive to desert and just record it in the desert? And I'm like, I'm not using the benefits of 3D enough. So I thought, what if I'm gonna make the car flying? It suddenly looks cool, and it's actually much easier. So then I made the car flying, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of like look interesting, but there's nothing happening really. It's just kind of like interesting scene. So that's how I come up with the scene. And then I was like thinking about different things, and then my friend was over, and we're just talking about fun stuff. And it'd be cool. There'd be like, we were talking about astronauts, and it'd be cool if there's some astronauts waving and flying in the background and just waving, because in that moment, Elon Musk sent the red car into space.
Yeah.
So we thought there could be some astronauts interacting with it, and I'm like, well, why if actually wants the car? Because now when there's cars in the space, astronauts want to grab them and they want to get the space car. So then I'm like, oh, let's put the astronaut who's trying to get in the car. So it was like a lot of steps, it wasn't like straightforward. And then we came up with this idea, and then since then it was kind of more easier because I already knew my like kind of environment. I have astronauts and they are struggling and they're trying to figure out something, and then I kind of becoming faster or like more streamlined with the idea creating. But yeah, from there I just started animating this, and people loved it. It was actually one of my most popular animation, and I did a lot of animations before for Instagram, and oftentimes I put so much energy, and then I posted it, and then I started losing followers. Like, people, fuck this shit.
Really?
And
Really?
yeah, I was actually, I mean, that's maybe for people also to know, it's not straightforward at all. Like, I put a lot of effort and a lot of work in the projects, and it was not gaining anything. I was not getting following. I was not getting client offers. I was just putting time into that. And I thought I'm working on something cool, and it was nothing. But then astronauts, they changed the game. They started kind of going up, and it was because the connection, because the humor, because people get it, because people like can relate on it some way.
And it's not just Mographers. That's the thing. Not just Mographers appreciate it. The general audience likes it so much, in fact, that somebody stole your astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any learning experiences from that? It was Chris Brown, right, who stole it?
Yeah, it was Chris Brown stole it. I mean, it's funny. It took me a lot of lessons to always like do something differently. So I need to lose 3 hard drives before I will do backup hard drive. And
Yeah.
so they stole it, and I know what I have to do now. I have to register each pieces in advance and to get the basically copyright on it. And it's not even that expensive, but I'm still kind of lazy doing that process.
Wait, you're
I'm still
talking
kind
about like registering copyright with like the copyright office before you
Yeah,
post?
because it's not enough. Right now, I couldn't go to court with him. Like, even though I made it and even though it's my animation, because it's not registered, I couldn't go to court.
I thought there was
And
some sort of rule about proving that you made it is enough for copyright law. I thought that was a thing.
yeah, they are kind of telling me, yeah, unless you register it, it's gonna be really hard for you. No lawyer will want to go to this court because it's not sure if they will win. And also, did he cause you actually financial? Like, you have to prove that he actually hurt you somehow. Because he's just on Instagram, there is no direct evidence that he made money on this promotion, even though he put his music there. So they told me there is like, I spoke with multiple people and they told me, yeah, you might try to go there, you might lose a lot of money for court, but there is probably not much gonna happen. So the only thing I was able to achieve was him delete it. And
Right.
That's good. At
and
least.
yeah, but then I thought, okay, it's
There's got to
it's
be.
kind of frustrating. It's kind of frustrating. I
Yes.
mean, NFTs at least now they are kind of becoming like registered. There is pure ownership, so
Right.
it's kind of it's different story. But in that way, and it's not super expensive. It's actually like, I don't know, it's like I think $50 or $100 to register a piece. But
still that can add up if you're
yeah, if you do
multiple
dailies
pieces
and
every month.
registering.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's the thing is like, is when this is kind of normalized and gas fees aren't $300 per, you'll be able
Yeah.
to have that piece on the blockchain, whether or not you sell it. And it will be nice to be able to prove to somebody, no, this is on the blockchain and this has been on the blockchain. This person, there's no way that it's theirs, right? Because you
Yeah.
have
Right.
absolute proof that it's yours.
Hopefully. I know there was some already incidents when someone was like minting pieces which been already minted,
Yeah.
and now who is gonna be judging it? Who is now? So they have to like bring it to some attention. And I don't know, there's some NFT police yet, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you could at least prove the date, right? That's a hard date. You could say, well, I put it here first, but yeah, you can still demonstrate prior use, in other ways. But the thing about Instagram is they aren't going to care that Chris Brown stole yours.
No, Instagram is
No. And they don't care because it got millions and millions and millions of views on his, which equals ad revenue, which equals they don't care, right?
Yeah. No,
It's
Instagram
not-
like
For the artist is not the number one in mind with that.
Yeah.
I lost one account. They hacked my account, and I was for months trying to get a reply from the Instagram. They just like, I guess they have too many users, and they are really like business oriented for their gain.
It's ads. It's all ads.
Yeah, they don't care really. It's kind of sad. But I don't know. I was against the Instagram at the beginning. I was just like low resolutions, like small. I was like all about Vimeo, but no one was watching the Vimeo. I was like, even all my astronaut pieces, I have full HD on the Vimeo, but there's a fraction of the views, fraction of the response than
Vimeo's
on the Instagram. So it's just like, you realize, and that's why I was also doing this breathing animation now. I wanted to do VR and stuff, but then I thought, oh, how many people has the VR? Everybody has an iPhone. Everybody's watching vertical. So I already built it vertical because I'm like, I have to go where people watch the things. I have to go to make it easier for them because people are lazy. So
once the AR stuff really hits in the mainstream, that's when it's gonna be like profitable, or not necessarily profitable is a bad word for it, but when it's gonna be something that's worthwhile. I mean, it's still, if you enjoy it, it's worthwhile, but like for other people, for an audience, and to gain traction in somewhere in that. Like,
my friend, for example, and that's also one of the examples what I'm kind of looking up to. He was graphic designer, and he wasn't best. He was doing stuff. He was okay. He was like, maybe he's listening. He was really good. He was one of the top. And then he just got idea to start combining graphic design with AR, and he started drawing some kind of like simple illustration, and he started doing the books of physics for kids. So he has some kind of situation drawn, and then you took the phone or iPad and you aim on it, and it started being alive and animated, like for example engine of the car, how it works, or some kind of law of physics, and it became really interactive and fun. And he started promoting this. Then he got huge funding, then he got promotion in a lot of TVs channels, and he from graphic designer become entrepreneur, and now he trying to change the school system in Czech Republic and also worldwide go with how to teach the physics in funny way through AR. And that's kind of way of thinking I really appreciate and like. You just kind of like use this discipline, but as a way of communication, but then you go even further. You just have vision and go for it. And now he has a team and he's excited, he's loving it, and it's like totally like changed the way how he operates. And maybe I'm kind of getting to that mindset, but also realizing you need to have some kind of attributes, like too much bohemian life and too much like free spirit. It doesn't necessarily go with owning the business. So you need to kind of have structure. So when you guys like, okay, we want to do podcast with you, but the soonest one is in 2 months and then everything is like aligned so ahead. I'm just like, oh, those guys are not like kidding around. They're serious about scheduling.
There was a few times where I wondered whether you were going to show up or not.
We have a social media team now and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all, it's becoming a machine, you know.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I start feeling guilty because I have so many unreplied messages, and I'm like, oh yeah, guys, they will be freaking out. I need to write them somewhere, and like, which channel? Like, that's one of the things. If I'm starting company, like the first person I'm getting is some producer or someone who's gonna help me to cut it down, like the replying on Instagram and emails. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm starting getting anxious, just like going through messages and then like all the channels and notifications. I used to be like, you're getting this dopamine when you get new message. I used to have this a lot before, but now I'm actually getting reverse. I'm getting like stress from it. I'm just like, please less. I don't want anything. I don't want replying things.
It's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise every day coming from every direction.
Man, it's crazy how it's affecting us. And now you see kids, how they're growing up, glued on the phone and stuff.
Man.
And it's
my daughter, God. Can't get her off the phone, man. Trying so hard.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
My kid, we're in the car and he's like, "Hey, can I have your phone?" I'm like, well, "No, it's business." He knows office hours. Like he knows not to bug me about my phone. So I gave him one of our old phones, right? And he friggin' lost it. He doesn't know where it is.
He's
the $1,000 phone.
Really?
He lost it.
It's gotta be in your house though, right?
I would hope somewhere.
It's under a couch.
Maybe he sell it. And
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he put it up on Craigslist.
Buy the Pokemon
I bet
cards.
I can almost guarantee you it's probably at my in-laws' house, and he just left it over there one day. Because that's happened before. One of our other previous phones we gave to him, he accidentally left over there, and we found it like 2 years later.
Wow.
My daughter just bought AirPods.
Oh, they're amazing.
But it's
So
like,
hopefully she won't lose them.
yes. Well, she proved that she could hang on to a cheap $40 pair for a really long time, and then she wanted some, and she put all her own money into it. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah. We have an app called Greenlight, and she can save all her money like a bank account. She has a debit card that works. You can approve the purchases, and she said, basically, my budget is $200 and something for this. I would like to buy these, and a note comes up on my phone, and it says, "Can you approve this purchase of $200 and something transfer from her savings to her?" And I'm like, "Why do you want this?" And she was like, "I'm buying AirPods." I'm like, "Okay."
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. You are organized. You have this kind of
They're great.
systems home. It's kind of amazing. But
kids,
but
man.
there's also one thing. There's one thing also with kids. They just go to whatever school and they see other kids and they influencing each other so much. Like they can even like give you shit if you have older iPhone. Oh, you have iPhone 10, I have iPhone 12 or 13, whatever. And then they're just the kids can be like so evil in some way. And then they like comparing and then watch what is this and YouTube channel and I need this, I need that. And it's a little bit of brainwashing on the kids also.
They all want to be a YouTuber.
So
Oh yeah. See, when we were growing up, we all wanted to be like football players or actors or something.
Yeah.
Now it's all just YouTuber. Oh, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's interesting. They're
kid-
idols.
yeah, his birthday's coming up, and he wants a computer so that he can stream. And I'm like,
Then
man,
you
that's
build a gaming rig with him and just use that one.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I don't want him to stream.
Well,
I
there's
don't
that.
want him to.
That's
like,
difficult.
You know, he gets on YouTube and he starts watching all these videos, and I'm like, dude, okay. Do y'all know Mr. Beast? I just discovered Mr. Beast.
I know who he
right?
is. Yeah.
I don't like Mr. Beast. I don't like Mr. Beast for my kids because he freaking tortures his friends. And it's like, that is not something we should be teaching our kids
pranks
is
on 'em?
okay.
Yeah.
No, it's like what he does is he says, okay, y'all go hang out and stay in this insane asylum for 48 hours straight and I'll give you $10,000.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to mess with you the entire time. And it's like, dude, like, that's not cool. That's not cool. You know?
Yeah,
They're probably all in
I
on it.
totally feel you. I have a friend and he also has kids and they're watching some stupid shows and he's just like, I don't want you to watch this. And they like, but we love it. And then they're watching it secretly. And then they're like,
Yeah.
Dad, we know you don't like it, but we just love it. And then you can't do anything. Then you just lose not control, but you just like can't affect them. And then like,
control.
and they're just like, damn it, what are they gonna do? They're just like brainwashing themselves.
Like TikTok, man. Freaking TikTok stuff. It's like, you know, there's cursing, there's sexual, like all of this. Like, it's just, there's no way to escape this stuff without taking the phone completely. And it's just not possible now.
Yeah. I can't. TikTok's hard. Like, I won't let him get on it. But I'll, if I see one that, like, you know, I think my kid would like, I will favorite it so I can show him later. Every night he's like, did you save any TikToks for me? Did you save any TikToks for me?
Yeah, man, I don't, that's what I'm scared. Like, that's why I want to do even like work, but I'm trying to work on people to help, like to become more aware. But all these things, it's actually opposite. It actually makes you even more like clustered in your mind and like putting like even like this comparison and like bad role models, like insulting or like some stupidity. And then I don't know what's gonna, I mean, we'll see. I mean, on the same time, they are really creative and the new generation, even Gen Z, they bringing a lot of amazing things, but also a lot of things I'm just like don't understand. So we'll see. I don't know.
I just want to be able to. Here's the thing. I'm a super techie person. I am always on my phone, just like, you know, Matt's. It's the same thing. So it's hard to be a parent who's always on your phone telling your kid not to be on your phone, right? And I try to do the disconnect. Right. So like the other day, I'm like, get off your phone. We're going outside. You're going to learn how to light a charcoal grill and flip burgers. That's what we did. I'm cooking. You're going to learn how to do it, because she could stay inside on TikTok during that time, or she could come out and learn something and stop looking at the dang phone. And she's so antsy the whole time. She's like, I just want to go back to my phone, or she'll disappear and go back to her phone. I'm like, okay, how do you teach your kid? It's so difficult to teach them not to be on the device that they're going to be on for the rest of their life anyway.
That's tricky.
Like,
that's tricky.
And we didn't grow up
do
with
they
it.
like to play outside? Do they play outside?
She does.
Like, do they like...
Yeah, we mountain bike. We you know, we play tennis. We go do other things. But then we get home, it's right back to the phone. You know? And now she is doing creative things. Don't get me wrong. It's 90% Procreate or animating or keyframes or whatever she's doing.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. But it's tough. It's tough. We grew up in the 80s, 90s. We didn't have those things. We weren't glued to a phone, so we know what it's like not to have the phone. They don't know what it's like not to have the phone. They don't have that reference.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm wondering if I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen. You know, there might be also eventually in the future like a lot of like anxiety from this. Like people are gonna be like crazy about all this, like on the phone comparing all this, and this influencer is doing better and this influencer better. So then maybe start people having meltdowns from it, and they start kind of rediscovering, oh, there is actually planet Earth around us, and we can go in the nature, and we can do other stuff. Or maybe there's gonna be more pills or some like magic stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, imagine this though. Like I actually really have a lot of hope for AR, because think about what Pokemon did to get kids outside and things, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if your entire world was gamified in that way. Let's say that you're skateboarding or skiing, right? Or you're snowboarding, and imagine you have AR glasses on and you go up a jump, right? And AR is able to tell you in that moment exactly where you're going to land.
Score and
you know, or score the whole. I feel like that's going to kind of, in a way, disconnect people, even though it's technically not, you know. But
no, it's I like that. I like that way of thinking. And yeah, the Pokemon that you actually have to go around and go outside and do things. It's interesting the way how to combine those things together for sure. Yeah,
We'll
I mean,
see.
we'll see exactly. We'll
Yeah.
see. I don't know. Like it's about bringing new ways of creativity, but it's because a double-sided sword. It helps parents so much to keep kids calm. You know, like you
Yeah.
just give them tablet or something, and
Yeah, but that's
they just like in their zone. But then you don't know what's gonna happen with them.
yeah.
Um,
It's like the TV babysitting your kids. It's the same thing, you know. But
yeah,
at
it is
least the
kind of
iPad has something. They're learning something, or like they could
yeah.
potentially be learning something or doing something creative. The TV is just a passive
And
thing.
the biggest actually what's the problem in my eyes is the addiction to like infinite scroll. You just
Yeah.
go and like Facebook, like I don't even ever go there, but suddenly on Facebook I start getting those recommended videos, and then I don't even know how, and I'm already scrolling somewhere,
Yeah.
and then it can just grab you. It just grab you, and if you are not aware enough or like realize
Mhm.
that, you just get like sink in, and
You
then you're just
you
like, oh.
people will post TikToks on Facebook, and then I'm looking at their TikToks, and then I forget that I'm not on TikTok because all
Yeah.
the TikToks on Facebook come up, and you're just sucked in. You're like, I don't even know what happened. Why was I here in the first place? Oh, I was
And
trying to
then
go to Messenger, and I clicked on something because pretty
and, and,
shiny
and
penny.
that was one of the things why I actually did piece called No More Astro, and it wasn't just I'm kind of like want to leave astronauts for a bit, but it was also want to leave the certain way of entertainment, because I realized I'm contributing into this. Like more content you do to keep people glued on the phone, they will be more like addicted to whatever they see there, and it's fun. And I'm going against myself a little bit,
Yeah.
because most of my friends and in our industry, that's what we do. We do cool stuff, and everybody like doing dailies and trying to. But then more we trying to contribute to the people watching the phone and watching what's new. And I thought, what if I can try to do some pieces which makes you a little bit connected with yourself, because people sometimes like really forget about that they have actually physical body, and then you can
Yeah.
breathe, and you can have a stress in your body and you don't even know, and then you have diseases, and then you have problem with that and that, and it's actually all connected. And so maybe I'm trying to do some kind of like miracles work here, or like too naive, but I don't know. I'm just like to playing because it worked for me. It helped for me. I did have anxieties. I did have, I'm not sure if depressions, but I definitely had low points.
Yeah.
And I
I'll
was
be right
going
back
to
again.
work.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. And I was working at the work, and I was just like feeling something in the chest like all day, and I was just like slouching, sitting wrong in the chair, and then finish my day, and I was just going home a little bit exhausted. So then you watch Netflix, eat some good food, and again, and then again, and I'm like, I kind of feel like shit, and it was kind of in the loop and repeat, and then I start realizing, oh, it's actually like, it is like, it's not such a mystery that when you are tight on the chest, it is kind of like the emotions or anxiety, and you can try to back reverse and go into it and release and all that stuff. So I start working holistically on myself, and I start feeling so much better. So I would like to give it back a little bit, people, to true help. And I know that people are not gonna do a lot of extreme things I was doing, so I'm trying to find a way how to combine it with technology, and how to keep it digestible and entertaining, but helpful.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I've got some links here, and the first one on it is about Microsoft HoloLens, because they're developing some really cool stuff. It's a video where people are holding holograms, essentially. You know, they assign it's a pretty simple concept when you think about it, right? They have something that kind of will keep track of your hands as a hand tracker, and it puts a bunch of spheres inside of the pieces of your fingers and your palms and everything, and those spheres are acting like rigid collider bodies to work with other objects. So like holding a cube, they show somebody holding a cube that's not real in their hand, and put it back down on the table, and then flick it, and then like flick the box across the table.
I need to have a look
with physics and all of that. So that'll be in the show notes. You can check that
That's
out there.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And there's
Tracking all your fingers.
Yeah, kind of like that one device can do.
Like Kinect?
Well, not the Kinect, but there's the other one. It was a little earlier than that. The
Leap.
The Leap. The
Magic Leap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And now there's some tracking inside of the the Quest 2 for hand tracking.
Yeah, the Quest 2
I
has
turned it
hand
off because
tracking.
it's a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't use it much, and so what will happen is it will try and track, and you're trying to use the controllers. But yeah, check that out. It's interesting where that's going. And also, I have a link to this experimental AI tool that will take game footage and make it ultra realistic. So they did this with Grand Theft Auto footage, and then used AI to make a model where everything looks real. You know, very real in the sense that it's almost like worse looking than GTA, because GTA is very, I'd say, semi-realistic looking in a way for a real time.
Like old GTA or new GTA?
The newest GTA, whatever it is. But they did a thing where it it's 5. It goes kind of a split screen and it shows what their AI does to it. It makes it look kind of dirty and flat and like an iPhone video, but it's actually real gameplay footage. So it would be interesting to see where that goes, because you could develop games with low poly, you could develop games with low resolution textures, and then just in the end, it just runs through AI anyway. You know?
Yeah, that's actually, I was thinking recently to work with my sister and do some animations and not even like put too much details on it. And she would be painting over them, and then you would just run them through processing, and you would get like interesting look of like this kind of things. You can like use the AI to get like much further, because we are limited in some specific way how we're working with textures and tools and 3D and everything's like sharp and it's expensive displacement and stuff. But then when you run through that, you can definitely get interesting looks. So that, I would love to see that actually.
With the different models and everything too. You could have them, you know, this model makes it look like New York. This model makes it look like, you know, Palm Beach, you know, West Palm Beach, you know, whatever.
You were just selling the expansion packs, and this is a winter pack, and you just like
DLC
put new filter and DLC basically, and it's a good way how to make more money.
The only link that I have left here is it's very meta. It's a tutorial on how to make tutorials. It's
it's from Noseman.
Yeah.
I saw it on the. That's funny actually.
I'll put that link in the show notes. You can check that out. That's on Cineversity. And so what we want to do now is a segment called Mograph Recommends, where we ask you your favorite things, because we feel like it's really good to find out like how these things kind of influence what you're doing, if at all. But we're going to start out by asking you what your favorite movie is. And this could be any of these questions. This could be your all-time favorite, or this could just be a recent favorite if you prefer.
I see. Like my most watched movie, but that was because my ex-girlfriend, was Mr. Fantastic Fox from Wes Anderson. I like his comedy and like his type of humor. But I guess my favorite movie, I would say, considering how big wow effect it had for me, was District 9.
Yeah.
Which was like
That's a good one.
So raw movie, like so believable how they were going in the story to documentary and slowly adding the weirdness. And considering the budget and visual effects at the time, for me, I'm sad he didn't continue the direction. I think his newer movies kind of like didn't land as well. But District 9 was really loved that one.
Isn't there supposed to be a District 10 coming out? I thought I heard that. Or am I just imagining that?
I'm not sure. I really admire that he tried to, and you know, that's also funny because he's inspirational, but in the same time, his hard time, because he tried to like go around the Hollywood classic model and do fundraising through fans, and he was doing those short movies, and then he like let audience to choose which format they like the most, and then they start working on the feature movie sponsored by audience, but he didn't get enough money, and kind of all the project got canceled. He was doing this kind of like the Alien in the Jungle, the Predator. I don't know what was the name, but I don't know. I like him the way how he's doing movies, but
there's an announcement here. It's from February 26th, and it says District 10 is underway.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Let's hope we'll go back to the root and we'll work that way, because after he didn't have such a success with his following movies.
Yeah. Now, what about TV shows along those lines?
TV shows, I have one which I really enjoy, but it's gonna be it really depends on your sense of humor. And I mean, me coming from Czech Republic, we have also similar to British humor, kind of dry. So this one is actually New Zealand humor, and it's called What We Do in Shadow.
Oh, What We Do in the Shadows
I've
is so
heard
good.
about that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
so funny.
I've only seen like one episode of the TV show, but the movie was excellent.
Yeah. The movie was so good, and so I even finished the TV show. And I mean, the movie is the movie. It's better, but the TV show it's pretty much the same humor, and I really enjoyed that. So I guess for me was that. I mean, of course, there was a bunch of other shows I watched, and even like, I don't know, Rick and Morty or
Of course.
which I'm not sure what happened with the New Year's episodes. I kind of stopped watching.
They're pretty good.
After that, they're still holding.
They're holding. Season 5 is coming out next month, I think.
Yeah.
What about music?
Music, I don't have like a specific band or stuff. I'm more listening. I'm listening kind of like ambient house when I'm working, like no lyrics, something I can just like go in the flow, and a lot of electronic music. And even when I'm going, I do go out and on the parties. So I'm more like, I grew up in this kind of like Berlin style. So I listen a lot of techno, house, electro. But when I'm working, I'm kind of more like in chill ambient.
Right. Yeah,
sense.
That's understandable. Kevin says he has not seen What We Do in the Shadows, but Breaking Bad is the best show he's ever seen, except maybe The Wire. Oh, I'll have to check those out. Hey, do you?
Yeah, the Breaking Bad is actually on my list for so long. I know it's a good show, and I 3 times started the show. I 3 times started like first 4 episodes maybe.
I did that
but I
too.
never finished it. Yeah, I need to finish it. I know it's good, but
I did that too, and when I finally got over that hump, I was hooked.
yeah.
Do you
I'm sure it's.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great.
By the way, hi Kevin.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to podcasts as well, or is that just not? Is that hard to do while you're concentrating?
More kind of like randomly, bit than there. I was like, I was listening quite a lot collective podcast where I was like learning about new artists and stuff. But I have the thing. I tried even listening to a lot of audiobooks while working, but I oftentimes then kind of. I like that, but if it's like more complex informations, I start like really focusing on what they are talking about, and my work effectivity goes down.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it depends, yeah. But the podcast, it's more like when I see something like interesting, they're just more randomly or sporadically. But yeah, I was listening Art Cafe and collective podcasts kind of more regular basis.
And what would be your favorite plugin? Not render engines. We have to say that. But what is your favorite plugin? What's your go-to?
I have to say Xparticles.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely. I did a lot of work with them on all kind of different projects, and it's you can achieve a lot there without have to know Houdini and stuff, and you can do it kind of faster, and you can. They are constantly getting better, and also they are really progressive. There's a lot of plugin like Turbulence FD, which was amazing, but then they kind of like fell asleep and nothing's going on there.
Yeah.
Or I hope it does, but it's not visible. But Xparticles, they really like keep pushing, keep improving. So
I'm waiting for
admire
that GPU, man.
Yeah, as soon as
game changer.
if they ever get to GPU stuff, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be over. It's gonna be, because I use Xparticles all the time for liquid sims and any sort of particle work. But fire and smoke, I always go back to TFT.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, what is your muscle memory go-to app on your phone when you, like, what is your hand just always just naturally go to?
It's a good question, but my most used app is for sure Instagram.
Yeah.
I going there a lot. Probably, I don't know. It's funny. I would say more than I should, but in the same time, that's the thing. Is like infinite well of inspiration and scroll and people and a lot of communication there. And even though I'm not loving messaging there, I'm getting most of the messages on Instagram.
Messaging is weird on there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
You have the general and the primary, and then you have these requests, and sometimes you click on it and it doesn't. The notification doesn't go away. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Video games. Do you play them at all? And
I used to be a big gamer. a lot. I used to actually organize LAN parties. We always came with the friends, and we have one room just tables, one room just beds, and then we are just playing all kind of games. And older we got, more we start combining with like real stuff like paintball, go-karts, bike ride, drinking a lot of beer and stuff, barbecue. And so then it was like evolving, and I was loving it. But then I started traveling and living in other countries, and I stopped. But I definitely miss it. It's something unique to be like all together and fun with friends. But to your question, I don't play much anymore. I was sadly last game I played was like Overwatch, I guess. Then Red Dead Redemption, a little bit, like tiny bit. And game which not many people not many people knows, but that wasn't like my favorite game for a long time. Ark Survive Evolved.
I don't think I know that one.
It's survival game, but it's kind of complex game. You start in like any other survival game. You start in like it on the beach or a forest or whatever, and then you need to weigh your way up. But the community there, and then the fighting the space, and there's like dinosaurs walking around, and I enjoyed that game on so many levels. It was actually real overwhelming because I was always find some best spot I could, and I was developing the base and like some amazing space, and then I made a lot of friendships, and then they were helping me and they were giving me resources, and you really like have parallel life. Anyone can attack you there anytime, so it was kind of stressful to playing it, but that's the game I actually pour most hours in.
Okay, this is a hard one. This is a tough one. Mitch Meyer's example of this. This is life hack. This is your favorite life hack. Mitch Myers turns the toaster on its side for some bomb-ass grilled cheese. Now, you can give us a practical one like that, or it could be like a life, productivity hack. It could be anything. What's one hack you could give everybody?
Wow, that's hard to beat, a toaster on the side.
Yeah. I've tried it. It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have like a lot of like all kind of books and stuff I'm doing now or listening, but what I start doing recently, what works for me, like people are in general kind of lazy to work out or doing kind of exercises. And I start when I wake up, I basically roll up from the bed and I do push-ups because I'm still kind of like in zombie mode, and it makes me awake, and I will just do something I don't want to do, but it's beneficial for you just to do it till your brain properly starts and kick in. So instead of waking up and opening my phone and start scrolling what happened, I just wake up and I just like do these things that you don't want to do, just kind of like quick workout, like whatever, sit-ups, push-ups, just to keep yourself kind of active in the shape. So that's, I would say, like what I'm doing. Not saying everyone wants to do this kind of things, but works for me.
Cool.
Yeah,
that works. All right, so the last point of the day that we got to address here is the drop. So we're going to go into drop mode. Matt, are you good to go? Are you ready? Are you feeling pumped?
Let's do it.
I
got it.
Here we go. We're going into the drop. And stand by for countdown. Here we go.
The drop.
Is this the fucking mic?
Drop.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. Man, I cannot talk today. I'm Matt Milstead, along with Dave Koss, and joining us today is our good friend, Mr. Jan Sladecko.
Hey, guys.
So there's not a lot going on this week. I don't know short drop today.
Yeah.
Because I need to get in contact with someone at Nifty, because the social media person, whoever does their drops the ball on it several Mondays, and then I have no information for it. But today, at least right now, for tonight, they did announce they've got on Nifty's drops today. They got a couple of good artists. First up is Brendan Dawes. Pretty good Mograph artist. I believe they've done drops before with Nifty, but this one should be a pretty good one. Next up, we've got Antonio Tedisco.
Yeah, I also don't know how to read.
Tedisco. Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds right to me.
So, yeah, sure.
That's pretty.
Kind of fun stuff. Yeah, I like the colors.
These
really
are
pretty.
These are Balake palettes.
Yeah, these are Blake palettes. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
He has this kind of like fashion look to it also. Those
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like big clothing and marvelous
Yeah.
designer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
That's
like the
pretty.
animals. I think that's cool.
I think it's fun to do different colors on trees. I don't know why it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last up we've got. Wait, did I do the same name? Oh, no,
wait.
they both have the
Did
same
they both have the
last
same?
name.
Oh, they gotta be related, right? This has gotta be.
Yeah, of course. This is Mark
Didn't notice that.
to Disco.
Has to be. Oh, and look, like the style too.
Is it the same style?
Yeah,
He
that's
brought his brother.
very interesting.
That's funny. Okay.
There has to be a relationship there.
Well, there you go.
That's the way how
Wow,
to
you
do
think
it.
I would have noticed that as I was putting that together,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
I wonder what
Oh,
that is.
that's cool. I like that
wonder
one.
what the relation is. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Fun
elephant.
stuff.
I swear, have I seen that elephant before?
I don't know. Have you?
That
I like the
elephant
giant
looks like
eyeball.
something that we had on our site a while back. I might.
I saw
I
some
can see.
stock Voronoi fracture in there. That was nice.
Some Voronoi. Nice.
Some Voronoi.
And that's it. There's no Maker's Place or anything?
No,
or-
no. You know what? Well, here's the thing. Like, I think we actually talked about this week's last drop, because I think I got my
Oh.
dates all wrong.
Oh, I didn't.
So,
know that.
but yeah, there was really only like one Mograph artist who was dropping, and we talked about it last week. So, if you want to hear about Maker's Place, just go to Maker's Place or listen to last week's episode.
There you
know,
go.
that one
All
was
right.
good.
Perfect.
So we've got a few community drops. You want to start off with Kevin? Should we start off with Kevin?
K Rupp.
Good old Kevin Rupp
Mm-hmm.
from Maxon. You know, his NFT goes live on the Sevens grant. And a poor little Clippy. He looks so sad. He just needs to help you with your grammar.
Now
And
this
it
is
looks
this
like-
is live already, right? Yeah.
It's actually funny.
I believe it is. Yes.
Because that was from the 11th, which was I don't
Mhm.
even know. And he said Friday, so it should have been last Friday. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look
it
at
should have been.
Look at the gallery here. There we go.
Because he's probably in retirement. I don't think the clip is anymore in the.
No, he's
Was-
not.
Yeah, I
Poor
know.
guy. He
Yeah.
was-
I know.
We'll
especially
help you
after
write
gram-
an email for
Poor
free.
guy. I feel bad for him.
auto spell check and Grammarly. They just put him out of
Right.
business.
Right.
Poor guy.
Oh, that's the thing. Gen Z, they will not. They will. What? Who is he? They're not gonna understand. They probably don't remember.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. They have no idea.
See you writing a letter. I see you writing a letter.
Yeah.
I see you writing a letter.
Next up, we've got Sarah Gibson. Sarah Gibson did a drop called "A Glass of Nipsky"
Nipsky.
on Foundation. I like this one. It's very pretty.
What is
Super pretty. I love the. I don't know whether is that a Christmas ball
What's the nub? Is it
The
ice
nub?
or is it a?
or is it a
is
Christmas
it?
ball?
Or is it
I don't know, she's in
Pokemon
the
ball?
chat.
I think it's
It's not,
secretly.
it's not a Pokemon ball. It's
Okay.
definitely not a Pokemon ball.
It's ice.
But man, I love the texture on the whiskey, the Nipsky.
Oh, you know
put it
what
in
it
the
is?
foot.
I think it's because when you make those balls, they have like the part where the water goes in. I think that's what that is. That's why you have the seam around it, right?
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
maybe that's
also-
is that the nip part?
Oh, that's the
Is that the nip?
Nipsky.
That's the Nipsky. Gotcha.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Is that what it is?
All right, cool.
Okay. It's the nip in Nipsky.
Nip in Nip.
The nip in Nipsky. Okay.
And then
else? Oh,
Julia
Julia.
from last week hit us up and said, "Hope you had a good weekend. Gas prices finally came down, so she listed her first piece from the series
Yeah.
Ode to Fungi
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
on Foundation."
That's
so
good.
yeah, really pretty. Good
We
stuff.
like mushrooms.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What's going on them? They're like they look kind of sick. But
Yeah, but see, that's the thing with mushrooms. That's the thing with
Chocolatey.
mushrooms.
you
Some of
never
them,
know.
yeah.
And they're
Beautiful.
they're producing
pretty.
chocolate maybe.
Looks
It's a chocolate
delicious.
mushrooms.
Delicious chocolate mushrooms.
Oh, that's an ink cap.
Yeah.
Ink
Oh, it's an
cap.
ink
just
cap.
see it.
Caps-
Do they
yeah,
really
or-
do that? Is there one that does that in real life?
Let's pretend they're chocolate.
Yeah.
Right?
I want like
Yeah,
mushroom, which is
Oh
producing
yeah,
infinite
heck yeah, they
chocolate.
look just like that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Creepy. Yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
They've
So
got
was
the
it- was their
drips and
name?
everything. Ink cap. Ink cap mushrooms.
Huh.
That's so interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, that's so cool. Anyway, that's all I got. Oh, look who it is.
Hey, Matt.
Oh,
How's
what's
it
up,
going?
Dorothy?
Hello, Jan.
good.
Hey,
Dorpy,
buddy.
Dorpy. It's not Jan.
What is his name?
It's not. This is Dorpy. This is
Dorpy.
Dorpy, but he pronounced your name Jan, and I'm trying to say like to tell him the difference. I think you're thinking it's like it's yawn. Oh, I see.
Yawn.
So it's like a silent J, like the guys from the movies. No. You're thinking of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, you can say like yawn, basically. That's similar. Or yawn.
Well, either way, Jay and Silent Bob are in one of my favorite movies, Dogma.
Oh gosh, that was a long setup.
Yeah. Anyway, it's getting closer to summer. I've been working on my dog bod, so I haven't minted much lately, and I'm just here to request that Jan take me to Burning Man next time he goes. There's
that's
even
for sure.
Yeah, there's a little
But you need
event.
to learn my name first. That's
Jan? Yeah. There's a little event down the road. It's called Burning Dog. And I'll spare you the hot dog jokes, but
you know, for some reason it sounds so weird. Burning.
Burning Dog. But I need a travel buddy for that, so I'm going to go with you next time. So Jan, I'm going to look you up next time I'm in California.
I need to get you some design leash and cool costume.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We'll hang out. So, yeah, I got to go, though. Bye.
All right.
Bye bye.
It was a long way for a joke. It was a very long way.
Oh, Dorpy.
Dorpy. Yeah, but
All right,
I think
and
that's all we got.
that's a short drop. This is a short drop this week, which is fine. For those who are just listening to the 5-minute drop, make sure to join us on the Mograph podcast every Monday.
That's right.
Yeah, we can turn this into a 3-minute TikTok. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Drop.
Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.
And we're back in the show.
We're back. Jan, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
on the show, man. We appreciate you taking your time.
Thank you. It was fun here, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
People
We'll
want to
need
find
to,
you. Oh, yeah, go
You'll
ahead.
need to come to Camp Mograph so we can hang out in person.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I feel like that's right up your alley.
Basically just sit
Yeah.
at the computer.
I think so. Yeah, let us know what you got going on coming up, and let's hang out. And if people want to find you online, where can they go?
Yeah, I guess at the moment, Twitter, Instagram, they are probably the main places where you can like reach me out or like see my work. So Jan, Jan Sladecko, Sladecko. Basically, when you Google my name, you should get. I don't have any cool nicknames, so when you Google my name, you should be able.
And you'll see the
find all the
astronauts.
socials.
You'll be able to follow the astronauts.
Yeah, follow the astronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And,
can, yeah. They can find
yeah.
you. And I'll link to it in the show notes as well. So.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's usually my name and. Or there is a dot between. Maybe it's Jan.Sladecko or it's Jan Sladecko together, but all socials are basically under my name.
Cool. Well,
Cool.
you can rate us on iTunes. You can leave a review or subscribe to help get our ratings up on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe to our newsletter. Just went out. Gets you all the deets on what you may have missed and what's coming up on the show. The summer of Mograph is about to happen, so stay tuned for that. And you can get the merch on our site. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Feel the Bab 2020 shirt. That's classic. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. And the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee. The That Render is Fire shirt, which you're only allowed to wear ironically, unless you're shams.
Unless you're shams.
And then the Mograph blandishment shirt, which you can get as well. Or go to the Maxon site. Yep, get you one of these nifty new Maxon shirts as well. I'm wearing one right now. Yeah, so that's about it. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Mograph.com. Send us an email, info@Mograph.com. Talk to us, check in with us, join our Slack. And Jan, thank you so much for being on.
A lot of Slack members join in this week.
I know. It's constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get in there,
At least.
and if you join, get involved. Don't just join and call it a day. Get in there, introduce yourself, talk to some people, have fun.
Don't be afraid. We're all nice.
Don't be scared.
For the most part.
And that's about it.
Oh, so much stuff going on, guys. I'm
Yeah.
So much.
mind blown. Just like
I
how
know.
you're doing all of that.
Oh, it's a lot, but we're having fun with
Yeah.
it and meeting new people, and yeah, so join us. And we're gonna get out of here though. Till next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Jan.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Take care, guys.
Oh, my computer just crashed. Not the main one, my secondary one. Note to self, I can't do After Effects and C4D at the same time. Dude,